down a third from what it was in 2006. Relative to jobs, there's a 13% unemployment rate in construction, which is roughly about, I think, 3 or 4% more than the national average. As it relates to Wisconsin and Milwaukee, we have not been immune from the travails of loss of construction jobs as well. Statewide unemployment or employment in construction over the last 5 years has also declined by a third. And here in Milwaukee, we have a 29% unemployment rate in construction. There was a time back in 2007 when we employed 37,100 workers. To date, we are operating now with 26,400 workers. And this is a trend that is going on throughout the country. A trend that in many respects our association feels can be remedied. All told, there are other areas throughout Wisconsin that are also experiencing severe construction losses. Some of them are Appleton, Eau Claire, Green Bay, Janesville, Wausau, etc., etc. Now, one of the reasons construction is declining is really related to the declining demand for public sector projects at the local and state level. Nationwide, public sector construction spending is down 6.5%. And we all know how there's pressure being put on state and local budgets relative to these types of projects. At the federal level, Congress cut state funding to the state revolving loan programs. This is the federal program that provides funding for projects such as this right here. And that funding limitation was over $1 billion for 2011, and the anticipation is going to be the same for 2012. These sorts of cuts make it very difficult for organizations like MMSD to do their job. And more importantly, at least from my perspective, it eliminates much needed jobs in an industry that has been severely compromised as a result of what we've experienced over the last 3 years. We're here to build sturdy, important facilities, and unfortunately we don't have the funding mechanisms set to do that. The good news is we don't have to bust the federal budget to address what the Environmental Protection Agency estimates is up to a $600 billion backlog in improvements needed to keep our drinking water and wastewater systems in good working order. And this would be over the next 20 years. There is a solution. The solution is establishing the Clean Water Trust Fund. And that would help finance critical water infrastructures like this. Structures that are going to help homeowners in terms of the problems that we saw last year, as well as provide needed employment in our community. This type of funding is revenue neutral based on different fees that would be charged for purposes of funding. It's a solution that needs to be realized now. It's a solution that will provide the basis for the infrastructure needs that we have, while at the same time providing improvements in employment. As I'm sure Kevin will tell you, establishing a water trust fund will help authorities like MMSD do their job. It will also, as I mentioned before, give a much-needed boost to our employment market. That is why the AGC of Greater Milwaukee and the AGC of America is working with members of Congress like Congressman Pete Troy, who has co-sponsored a bill to establish a water trust fund. It's the goal of these sorts of projects to help our communities and also help with unemployment. After all, we can choose between balanced budgets. We can't choose between balanced budgets and safe water. I'd like to now introduce Kevin, who I think would like to make a few comments as well.
Hi, again, it's Kevin Schaefer, Milwaukee Switch District. The numbers that Mike just shared with you are very sobering. They're very scary, actually. We've got a lot of people that are trained that can do a lot of great things with public infrastructure, but we just don't have the funding to be able to do these projects. One of the important issues, we talk about public infrastructure improvements. If you look around, you notice that funding goes to private industry. These are private jobs, C.D. Smith, Ahern, different companies here in Wisconsin, here in the Milwaukee area, that It would be the recipients of these funds. So although we're doing the projects, the actual recipients of the funds are private entities. And you know, it's interesting, we have a trust fund for highways, we have a trust fund for airports that exists right now. We have no type of sustainable funding in the works or even thought of for water and wastewater improvements. It's a huge need. You heard Mike talk about the $600 billion deficit that we have right now in infrastructure spending, and we really need to do more. Now, as we look back at what MMSD has done over the last 5 years and what we're doing in the next 5 years, we see this crunch really starting to impact even more severely than what we've seen this year. In the next 5 years, we're going to see an average of about $35 million a year less in infrastructure funding from MMSD. It's going to have a huge impact. That translates to about 900 construction jobs. 900 construction jobs that will not be working because we don't have funding to do the jobs that need to be done. So, you know, this hits home, this hits the kids, this hits our families, this hits the region. We need to think about this. We need sustainable funding throughout the country. The Clean Water Trust Fund is a very viable avenue to provide sustainable long-term funding. And it's an issue that we need to try to push forward at the national level and then really do it as quickly as we can because we need those 900 jobs working so that we can improve the economy in the region. So with that, anything I can do to answer questions, we might want to know some of the projects that we've had to curtail or cut back on. One of them is our private property work with the laterals and foundation drains that we talked about over the last years. We had to cut $94 million out of that effort in the last year just to hit budget constraints. We could have plumbers, we could have laborers working on that work right now, but we don't have the funding for it. So I don't know if there's other questions.
How are you trying to push it? How are you trying to make this happen? How are you?
With the trust fund? I've been in Washington since 2004, 2005 talking about a trust fund. I'm the past president of NACWA, National Association of Clean Water Agencies. NACWA has been pushing for this. We've talked to Congressman Blumenauer, who had a bill similar to this 2 years ago. That bill went nowhere. Congressman Bishop now has the bill that's in front of Congress that we're looking for co-sponsors for. And Congressman Petri has co-sponsored it. It's a great thing that he's done that to support Wisconsin families. So we're really working with our delegation and talking to those folks, talking with folks that don't represent Wisconsin. Because as Mike said, this is a national issue. So we're trying to really get the word out that we need to look for different sources of sustainable funding.
Why wasn't this part of the stimulus package? This kind of sounds like it's exactly what they were looking for with the initial stimulus package.
The stimulus package that was passed and implemented several years ago was a very much needed shot in the arm for infrastructure. The one problem with the stimulus package is it was a one-time deal. You know, it just came and went. We had a project that we just completed construction on that was stimulus funded. But now we're looking at long term. It has to be sustainable. It can't be this one time, once a 10-year or 5-year shot. It needs to be continuous funding.
So what would be the source of the funds and why would be a clear source? Is described where the money would come from?
The revenue sources for the Clean Water Trust Fund, it's really kind of up in the air. The bill itself does not identify revenue sources. We've had GAO do reports on revenue sources. This could be flushables. Anything that's flushed down the toilet could be part of that revenue source. It could be several different possibilities that we're talking about. I couldn't presuppose what Congress is going to do with that, but there's it could be that as well. Yeah, that's one of the options. So it could be a fee on overflows. It could be a fee on flushable tax. So there's a variety of revenue sources that GAO one of the discussions that's occurring in Congress infrastructure bank. The question that comes with the infrastructure bank, though, was your question: where's the revenue come from for the bank? So you're still getting to the same endpoint. Where's the revenue come from? The trust fund, the Clean Water Trust Fund, could be the revenue source for that infrastructure bank, which would then be a revolving program to make improvements. My panel. Other questions?